I'm Bharat and I'm the product manager for Accesstype. Today, I'll be walking you through the various features that we support as part of Accesstype product. Uh, Before we start, I just want to give you a quick overview of what Accesstype is. Accesstype is an intelligent subscription management platform that provides tools to automate the manual processes in subscription business. We have option for recurring billing, subscription pricing, payments, and etc. It also manages the entire customer cycle from accepting a recurring plan to handling customer subscriptions. Uh, what you see here is an access type page where you could see quick overview of all the features or most of the features that we support, and the clients there who are using access type as a product. As a new user, when you click on get started or dashboard, it will ask you to sign in or create an account. And if for an existing user, you can just directly click on dashboard. It would directly land you to our landing page, which is the group subscriptions page. Um, Now, what we see here is, as soon as one logs in, it'll take them to the group subscription page, which is mostly the place used by admins and team to create different groups, plans, associate pricing, and etc. When I say groups, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what these groups are exactly, right? Um, in access type, we term it as groups purely because this is exactly where you would define, different tiers within, your subscription model. It could be gold, platinum, silver, something like that. Typically, and these tiers may have multiple plans within. Each plan will have a lot of time duration that you can define, and also the occurrence of this. Should it be a one-time plan, or is it a recurring plan? Is something that you will be defining part of the plans. To just give you a quick examples, right? I mean, if I have to go to one of our clients here, what you would see is like you could see the groups listed out at a very top level. Like I was saying, it could be gold, silver, platinum, or it could be in this case they have disruptor and game changer. These are two different groups, and they have different offerings within. These are the different benefits that an individual gets, and the plans will be here within. Like this group may have multiple plans, which is monthly, half yearly, annual, etc., etc. So on a way, that's what we have as a different groups. We categorize groups into three levels. One is the campaign as a group, the standard group, and the group access. We'll talk about each of them in detail. To start off with, let's say I'll just walk you through standard. When I say standard group, it's the normal group where you actually create, you give a name, a description. Description is nothing but what your end users get when they buy any plans associated part of this group, and define the group type, obviously standard, and the visibility could be either private and public. What essentially this means is if you mark it as private, this will not be visible to any of your users on the website. And if you mark it public, it is visible to all the users, and they will be able to go ahead and buy these plans. This will come handy when publishers will go about creating groups, add multiple plans, and until such time they don't want to really make it public. They don't want this to be visible on their websites. To control it, you have visibility that you could define. And while you're creating a group, we also have options to add some metadata. When I say metadata, it purely means you could literally go about adding certain fields you want to capture when a subscriber is buying a plan, right? For example, you could say, I want to capture the phone number, the PIN code, likewise, right? So each of these could be added, and when you actually go about buying a plan, a subscriber will be able to see these, and they'll have to enter the value, and these will be captured as part of the subscription and available for you. Now, once you have the subscription created, you could add as many plans. Adding a plan is very simple. You, as soon as you create a group, you'll see a plan option to add a plan out there. By clicking which, it gives you information about what is the plan name, the description about the plan, what an individual get. This is something that you could share with the customers when an email has been sent to them. Occurrence very important. This is where you decide if is it going to be a one-time plan or is it going to be a recurring plan. And based on that, you could also define the duration. If it's a one-time plan, you could define is it going to be 12 weeks, months, or if it's going to be an year, or etc. etc. Or you can have custom as well. If it if it's a recurring plan, you could just select the number of months that you would want this to be associated with. Um, for all the recurring plans, we support trial period. Essentially, you can define 3 days. The way it works is when someone actually tries to buy this plan. Um, the first 3 days is a trial period where they don't necessarily have to pay, and the subscriber can go ahead and cancel anytime within this trial period. In case if they don't prefer or if they don't cancel it, then there will be a charge. What is defined here will be charged on their cards. One small thing that I would want to really highlight here is if a plan has a trial period enabled and if there is a certain price at which the plan is being sold, there will be a small token amount which will be charged on the mode of payment chosen by the subscriber. This will be like, for example, $1 in this case, or if it's Indian currency, it could be if it's a Razor Pay, it may charge you about ₹5. This is just to authenticate if the mode of payment, the card that has been applied, is valid. And once that gets authenticated, this money is reversed back to the customer in the same for the same source of payment. Now, once you add plans, we have something called assets. By default, we assign all site access to a plan. When I say assets, what it essentially means here is what is the access that you would want to give to your subscribers? Is it going to be all the articles, all the stories which is published on your website, or is it specific to a section which you would have done? Example, I'd say you want to give access to all these any content getting published, any of these, or you want to probably limit his access to only one of these sections, only those which is getting published here. For the rest of the things could be part of a different plan altogether. Right? If you these are the things which could be controlled as part of the asset. By default, when a plan is created, we associate it with full site, but it's always something that you could go ahead and change the assets based on your interest. Right? Going forward, the second type of group that we support is campaigns. Uh, in campaigns, it's the way you could look at it is it's pretty similar to the normal group, except for the fact that it gives you a target value or a goal that you could set while you're creating a group. This could be against any cause, or you might want to do a crowdfunding to run independent story on a particular cause. You could create a campaign. You can give a name for the campaign, description as to what is this campaign all about. What is the target value? Is it going to be like $10,000 or any currencies for that matter, which is supported here? And obviously, you can make it public or private. We have one other option here where you could choose to stop accepting any more payments once you have hit this target value. You could, if you don't select this option, then even after getting 100% funded, you could still allow people to buy some plans associated with this campaign. If you select this, and create a group. It will just block users once the target value is being achieved. Any other attempt will be blocked and will be given a message saying this campaign does not accept any more subscriptions or payments as such. Once the campaign group is created, the rest of the things is as similar as the other groups. You can go ahead and create plans with different, price, and of course, one thing is for campaigns, you will not see a recurring plan. It's always a one-time plan. This is limited to one time only. And also, the currency will be very specific to the currency that you have set at the group level. For example, here while I created this group, I have set the currency as INR. So while you create any plans, you are limited to choose only that particular currency. Reason being, if it is multiple currencies associated, it becomes quite a challenge in the conversions and etc. So we avoid doing that. The third kind of a group that we have is the group access. Uh, what essentially group access mean here is at a very broad level, it is a domain-based access or the corporate access, what we can call it as. So you can create a group here with the same information. There's nothing additions to it. You can just say what name, etc., and have plans created. Now, these plans are slightly different than the normal plans. Though the occurrence and durations are same, you see one additional value here is a user limit, more like licensing. So you create plan with number of users that you could allow. So the way it helps is if there is an organization, a tech organization like let's say Quintype, will go ahead and buy a plan from you, and if there are about 100 or 1,000 user that has been given as a limit, then whenever a plan is purchased, up to 100 users could go about registering using their domain, which is quintype.com in their email address and get access to the content. Whereas when it gets exhausted, it doesn't allow to go ahead and buy more, and it'll probably and it'll give you a message saying please contact your admin as the user limit has reached. Uh, so majorly all the groups pretty much are same with slight differences. One major difference, or rather one way which you can easily make out, is under campaigns you could actually track the percentage of funds getting collected against your goal. It just clearly gives you a visual representation of how much have you collected already, right? And you could actually show this directly on your websites. I mean, we could actually see it here. I mean, it just gives you information as to what is happening today. You can see 100% funded, or is it so far this much has been raised. You can actually go about capturing all these information and showing in your website. Now, we also have something called paper asset. What this essentially mean here is you could create, you would have created multiple plans, and there will be subscribers buying those plans. Apart from that, if there is a special article or a story that you have published, which you don't want to be included as part of the same plan that a subscriber has, then you could actually go about adding them as an asset. So, wherein a subscriber who already has a running subscription still would have to buy this article or a story to read it. You could define that, by default, it is limited to a story, and you could, it's for a lifetime, but you can, of course, go about change what is the duration that you would want him to get access to these content, right? It could be like 10 rupees or 150 rupees, etc. And you can just save it. So as soon as you save, this could be available on your website, and people or the subscribers who already have an active subscription would have to purchase it. If not, it will show a paywall message saying this is a premium story. You will have to buy it. So we do support users, our publishers, to create articles which they could sell as an independent content and not as part of the overall plan that a subscriber has already. Uh, the second thing what I would want to talk about is the analytics page. What you see here actually is a navigation bar, right? And we have grouped up multiple functionalities within one because these are all interlinked. Uh, what you see here under subscriptions, this is one of the reports that you could generate from Accesstype. The idea is to make sure you get all the access to the subscriptions list which is getting purchased on your website. So here you could actually pretty much go about entering email address if you know already, or you could actually track by name etc independently, and you could actually see how many subscriptions has been purchased as part of your platform. Uh, Few things that you could actually even do is, let's assume you have got certain campaigns running. You would want to really track how that campaign is working out. You want to see within a particular period, that is you've started a campaign between such and such date and you're ending in certain dates, right? You want to see if that really helped get more subscriptions. You can pretty much apply that time gap here, the start time and start date and end date, and you can actually go about selecting a specific group even if you want. You can go to a specific group, and if you have any plans within, you can select a specific plan within as well and generate a report. Same way, you can actually use a different status at which a subscription can be. We have three different status which is maintained in access type. Active and expired, pretty self-explanatory. Any subscription which or any plan which has been purchased by a subscriber goes to active state, and if it is a one-time plan, there is a definite end date to it, and a subscriber will have to renew to get continuous access to the subscription. If he has not done so, then the subscription will get expired. That's what expired means. So what essentially mean by pending here is, in Access Tab, we do support something called the simultaneous subscriptions. And this is at the client level, it is not by default enabled. So, what happens when simultaneous subscription is enabled to a client or a customer, which is in this case publisher, right? When a publisher enables this or gets that enabled for his account, the subscribers would be able to buy multiple plans, which means, let's say I have one plan which is purchased, and I see there is an offer run by the publisher for the same plan that I had purchased. Maybe an annual plan I have paid about 5,000 rupees. Now I see there was certain offer based on the campaigns during certain special time period in a year, right? Maybe there are certain offers given during Independence Day or certain festive offers which is given where probably I get 20% discount, or maybe I save about 1,000 rupees or so. Then I can go ahead and buy those plans. So because that's a saving for me, I'm going to save about 1,000 rupees or maybe 20% probably from the overall payment. If I don't buy, I'll end up paying the same 20% added to it, right? So I can just go buy multiple such plans, and each of these plans will get stacked and stay in pending state. At any given point in time, there will be one active plan for a subscriber, followed by multiple subscription which fall in the pending state. How these will work is, the active plan will definitely have for a one time, they definitely have a end date. So this end date becomes the start date of the next pending plan, and that will have a definite ending date. Similarly, that follows for the rest of the pending plans, right? So always the end date of a previous plan becomes the start date of the pending plan. So this is how it works. You can actually go about filtering using these states, or you could actually even check by cancellations, user generated cancellations, right? Where the user has reached out to you, say, well, I don't want to have a subscription, please cancel it, and it has been cancelled. You could pretty much go about applying all these filters, and it could filter it out completely, and you can download a report. For example, if I have to just put I can just go ahead and export. It says generate and download. So you click on generate and download. It starts generating the report. Downloads within your browser itself. So you can just click on it and just wait. It'll complete the action. It gets auto downloaded to your browser. In case if there's a big team and if they're all doing the same kind of activity by filtering for various purposes, you could pretty much see the filters applied, and if that falls under the same parameter or category that you would want to generate a report, you can save that time. You don't necessarily have to generate a report. You can just directly go and download that report. And this Similarly, we also have option to import subscription. What essentially it means is, if you already use a subscription management tool and you're migrating to Accesstype, you've purchased Accesstype and you're migrating there, you definitely will have a lot of subscriber base, and you would want to move them here along with their plans, their payment methods, and etc. We do allow that. So the first way is to create different groups. That is the primary, as I said. Once you've created groups, you can just select a group that you would want and download a CSV. Now, this CSV template will give you details of some of the fields that you would have to go ahead and enter before you could actually go ahead and uh, upload them into Accesstype. The guidelines for these have been mentioned very clearly, where it says what's optional, what's mandatory, and a brief description where you could see why this would become mandatory and when will it become optional, right? So once you have those CSV file created, you could actually click on choose CSV, and you could go ahead and select one of the files, and you could upload them. It'll create a subscriber in Accesstype, associate a subscription and a plan within, and for any recurring payment, it's mandated to have a payment token input as part of the CSV. So we will connect with the payment gateway. We will see if it gets authenticated, and we will attach it. Else, we will throw an error so that you could correct it and try to re-upload it later. Similar to this, we also have something called invoices. There's a separate page where we list out only invoices. Every single transaction that is done on Accesstype will have an invoice record created. You could actually go ahead and pull out specific details if you have, for example, payment ID is the transaction ID, right? For example, if there is a payment gateway like PayPal that you're using, and let's say a subscriber has purchased a recurring plan, that would have given a payment token ID or transaction ID, which you could also find it on your payment PayPal dashboard against this subscriber. The subscriber would have got an email from the PayPal as well. Now, if that subscriber reaches out to you for some kind of a discrepancy, you would want to really pull out some information. You could directly key in that particular payment ID, and you would be able to pull out the information specific to it, or you could actually even try email address and filter it. We have given option here to filter where you could actually can put a time limit between the start and end date, and specific to certain groups and filters, just like how we had it in subscription page, and apply filter, and you can download it. And when you click on download, it will download a CSV file which you could further use to upload in any third party tools or financial tools that you may need, or you could use that to generate some specific pie charts or etc. of your interest. We talked about groups and plans. We also have an analytics, something called overview. What it essentially means is it just charts out, a graph. Sorry, there are no data here. Let me just try to pull if I could show something from a demo. It charts out some user data with some details of, if you can choose the start and end date of this particular within a start and end date, it will actually show you some details around the subscription and revenues that you have purchased. It actually plots a graph, so you would be able to do it compared with the groups and plans. Yep. And we have something called, under customers, we have two segments. One is the subscribers, which is individual subscribers who's buying plans, and then organization. This is correlated to the group access that we spoke about during our group creation. Okay. So when you click on subscribers, it just gives you a page with all the list of subscribers that you have in your account, and pretty much gives you a total count of subscribers you have and the status of each of these subscribers. Essentially, any subscriber which has at least one active subscription will be termed as active here, and if there are no active subscriptions running against a subscriber, the subscriber we name it as expired. So he's not going to be using his website anymore, at least. Uh, you could actually go ahead and pull out any specific details right from here by entering the email address of the subscriber, and then you could actually even check exclusively more details about the subscriber by clicking on the record. It takes to the subscriber profile page, where you could actually see all these subscriptions which was purchased and what kind of a payment method was used, what is the transaction ID, etc., for that particular subscription. One other thing which I also want to correlate with this is in subscriptions page. If at all you would want to understand something about a specific subscription instead of looking at the whole record of a subscriber, also you could pretty much click on the subscription. It gives you the same details. It will give you details of what is the status, what kind of subscription is it. Is it going to be? Is it a one time or is it recurring payment that has been made, etc., etc. And from here you could also go to the subscriber profile. You could actually dig deep into the profile page and get more information about how many subscriptions he or she has, and etc. When it comes to organization, it's, as I said, related to the corporate subscriptions. It will just list out the list of all the organizations which has purchased subscriptions from you. Each of these organizations will have details about what plans has been purchased, and it shows how many users has registered to that plan. Right? It says corporate one of the thousand, so there are 1,000 user licenses, out of which one license has been exhausted. Here there are about four user licenses, zero has been utilized. If you click on this plan further, we also list out who that one person is and what that person's email address is. Uh, Now going to the configuration page, which is more likely a one-time setup, or most of these are one-time, but at times we see there are certain features which could be touched upon multiple times. Uh, I'm just going to walk you through each of these. We have something called metered paywall settings. The way it works is you can define certain free stories that you would want to provide for both anonymous user and logged in user. Anonymous being users who just drop by on your website, doesn't register, but can read some stories from your website to understand the content. Logged in are those who have registered to your website but has not purchased any plan yet. So you could actually term how many free stories you want to provide. In the way you look at it here, this logic works like after 5 stories within 2 days, I can see 5 stories in 2 days, which is free. And if I exhaust all these 5 stories, when I click on the sixth story, I'll get to see a paywall message saying, hey, this is a premium section, please buy a plan. And you could have that message that could explode. I'll try to show you certain examples of this, probably. Okay, so if I click on this, it opens up a message, and um, just give me a minute. Featured, maybe. So it just starts showing you a particular message here. I'm not able to get those, um, you know, stories behind paywall. So essentially, you would be allowed to see three or five different stories, and after that, you will start seeing a message metering which says this is third story. We have three more stories left, two more stories, one story, zero stories left, and after that, it will just say. You have to buy a subscription to be able to read any more content. So that is applicable for both anonymous and a login user. We have coupons at a very base level where the way we help here is you could actually create a coupon code with a display and kind of what kind of a discount is it? Is it going to be something that you want to collect as a whole number, like a percentage, or you want to collect, give a deduction or a discount of certain amount directly? You could define it, and basis that you could actually term the value here as well. And if you you can we also give an option to apply a validity. Validity means when do you want to start this coupon and when you want to end it. You can just start. You can select a start date and end date, so it will start automatically and end at desired dates. Usage limit is pretty much as to how many times this coupons will be used. Like like for example, 1,000. If I say this same coupon code or coupon can be used 1,000 times. You can also apply a limit on how many times a single user can use the same coupon. Like in this case, if I say one, I can use this coupon 1,000 times, and as an individual, I can use it only once. So we give all these functions. What we don't have here is you cannot actually go about marketing your coupon right from here. You could use this coupon code, you can and you should market it using your marketing channels. It could be print or digital, whichever you're using today. You have to go with that. In Accesstype, we actually see if someone enters a coupon, we see if that coupon code exists, and if it exists, we'll check the discount value and we'll map it and we'll give that kind of a discount. Going next would be the payment gateways. In Accesstype, by default, we have about seven different payment gateways that we have integrated. Each of these payment gateway, we are the enablers of payment gateway, which mean like you need to have a merchant account created on these payment gateways, and you can actually go about connecting those accounts with Accesstype so that it is available for your subscribers to pay for. Right, you have to enter the key and secret, which will actually connect the users directly, and from there it just goes ahead and collects, allows people to buy a plan. One thing which I would want to highlight here is we are just the enablers of payment gateway, which means we don't own the transaction. We don't save the transaction money in our corporate account and then transfer it. We initiate the transaction directly on a payment gateway, and the control will be over to payment gateway completely. So a subscriber, when he or she makes a payment, will directly be collected from payment gateway and lands into your bank account, whichever is configured as part of the payment gateway. In these payment gateways, we have Razorpay, Stripe, and PayPal, which supports both one-time and recurring. And these Stripe and PayPal majorly use international because it support something available in the West. Of course, Razorpay also supports international currency, but majorly used in India. Google Pay, yeah, it's something that can be used in in-app purchases or on your website as well. And the rest, but these does not have any recurring plans supported by them. Outgoing webhooks. This is where if you have any third-party application which you want to integrate with Accesstype. For example, if you have Zoho as a CRM tool, and let's say you have a call center team or a team sitting dedicated to greet or maybe call or maybe drop a custom emails to every individual new subscriber getting on board to your platform. You could do so by selecting specific events. For example, any subscriber creation, you can say this is an active. You can create by giving URL and secret of the tool. The tool will be able to give you, for example, here it could be Zoho. You have to mention the endpoint which you connect to their support team. They'll be able to help you. You give a secret and you can create. So upon every single subscriber which is getting created, we trigger an event which will be sent to the third party tool, from where you could initiate a workflow of your own, maybe automatic emails from your side, or probably someone manually calling, greeting, etc., etc. So we currently have about 8 different events which pretty much covers most of it. But if there is anything which you find which is missed, which needs to be, you could always reach out to us and we can analyze and get back. Now, going back, we have invoicing and taxes. Depending on the geographic location you belong to, we allow to add certain taxes. And our plans that we allow in Access Type is inclusive of tax, not exclusive of tax, which means if it's 100 rupees is what, or $100 is what being quoted on as a plan amount, then whenever someone makes a payment, we assume, or we term it as $90 would be towards your plan, and $10 is towards your taxes. That depends on the percentage that you're putting. If you're putting 10% of tax, well, in this case, yeah, $10 would be towards the tax, and $90 would be towards the plan. So you need to create plans which is inclusive of taxes while you're creating on Access Type. Enable invoicing. I would say this is more of a receipt that you get once you buy a plan. For example, if you want to allow your subscribers to have a profile page of their own in your website, and when they log into profile, they get to see a lot of subscriptions that they have purchased and ability to download the receipts. Well, you can do so, and when you enable that, you could also go ahead and give us. You can have an HTML template created and added here, which could be part of which could have your branding, your logos, your the custom body, etc., etc. So whenever someone actually goes on your website and when they click on download receipt, we would generate a PDF using the same template and make it available for your subscribers. So to make that possible, you need to have enable invoicing and have a template created here. The admin email notifications is essential when you are using webhooks. How this will help here is we will be triggering events based on the events that you have selected from the dashboard. In case if we are not able to deliver those to the third party tool, it happens sometimes because maybe the tool itself on the other hand is down, or maybe there's some connectivity issues, or there's so many things. In such scenario, what we do is we trigger emails to the list of admins mentioned here, giving them an update as to we're not able to go ahead and deliver because of so and so reason. It could be tool down also, which then helps the admins to go about looking into the tool and do the necessary changes, or maybe make this tool up. And as soon as that is done, we go about sending all the pending events to them. While I just wanted to update, or rather bring one point here, whenever there's a issue delivering a webhook to a tool, Access Type will try to resend it with 1 hour gap each, and this will happen for 24 hours for a day. So we try to resend it in every 1 hour gap 24 times, and even after that, if that is not successful, we automatically block triggering the webhook events until the admins have gone ahead and fixed the issue and they reach out to us. And after that, we manually enable it. That could be all sent to the desired webhook. Then we have something called customer email notifications. This is something which again is optional. Our publishers can use it or may not. Uh, when you select each of these, we trigger automatic emails to the subscribers. Here, it supports only two emails, which is subscription creation, in which case we send an automated email to the subscriber based on the email address he has provided about the details of the plan that he has purchased and etc. etc. Same thing applies for renewal reminders. When you're setting a renewal reminders before 15 days, then we trigger automated emails before the last date of the subscription that he or she has, so that they can go ahead and renew. And this is completely configurable. You can just say 1 day prior as well. Uh, at present, this is not configurable, which means the template is not configurable. You cannot have custom messages or you cannot have branding part of this. It is a default template set by Accesstype. And finally, we have some general settings. Usually, this is taken care of by Quintype support team itself. Uh, this defines what is your name, the account name. That is, like, it could be News Laundry, it could be Times of India, etc., etc. Platform is which CMS do you use? Do you use Quintype based CMS, which is Bold, our core product, or are you using any third party CMS? Because Accesstype works with any third party as well. There's a small integration layer which has to be built by the clients, and Accesstype works seamlessly with that any third party as well. And if it's a Quintype based CMS, all this is automatically taken care. If it's third party, that has to be entered. Um, Whitelisting domains is very interesting. You could have one access type account handling multiple website of yours. What this essentially mean is you could have English, Spanish, French, Hindi, Tamil, etc., etc., multiple sites, and each of these are different websites altogether, but all fall under your domain. Like example, XYZ or Hindi slash XYZ.com, or maybe French, FN hyphen XYZ.com, etc. You could actually go about adding all those domains here so that the complete users across multiple websites can be can be controlled using a single access type account. The same plans that you configure in this access type will be visible on all those particular websites, and anybody buying a plan can have access to any of the content on each of these plans and etc etc. So you could actually go about configuring all these informations by just having a domain whitelisted on access type. These are something that would not be of major use. It's more likely used if you're using a third party CMS. In that case, you would have to use the JWT secret that we have created here. This is what we use to go ahead and authenticate an user if it is a different user management system. If you're using a Quintype based product based platform and its own user management system, then you don't really have to worry. It will work out of the box. Next important thing we have here is the users and roles. If you have a bigger team, or even if you have a team, apart anybody more than one or two, right, is a team for us. If you want to include them part of this account, so they can actually go ahead and create plans or generate reports and do all those things that you were that I showed you as a demo all this while, then you would have to add them for this account. So the way it works is any user who would want to be added should first go on accesstype.com and register themselves. And once it is you have registered, once they are registered, you could actually find them by keying in their email address. It just shows the email address is available along with their name. You could just click on it and it will just go ahead and add them to your account. Now you could actually choose to leave them as admin, or you could make them as owner. What essentially happens when you make them as an owner is they get to configure payment gateway. They would be able to change certain information at the account level. If you don't want them to do all that, and if you want to limit the usage, you could leave them as an admin, where they will be able to go ahead and create reports. They would be able to create plans and etc. But they would definitely not be able to play around with anything with regards to payment gateway, or anything with regards to customer email notifications or admin notifications. or even for that matter, they would not be able to view any of your account details, as in what's your secret, what is the key, and etc. This whole section will be completely disabled and hidden for them. Uh, and for any other information, it's all documented. We'll be adding certain tools as well, which will be available for you. It just shows like this. Let me just quickly show you how. Um, sorry. So, and we also have certain tools listed here. It will come up as a specific tool which you could actually choose and you can play. It just walks you to the same demo that I just showed you now, but it just gives you some tip as well as to what you have to, input, where you have to input, and etc. In case you also have some issues where you need to really get some queries clarified or you need some support, you could also reach out to our customer support team by dropping in your query along with some attachments as a video or a screenshot. Our customer support team will reach out to you and help you addressing them. So net, this is all about access type in a brief. uh, Thank you for spending this time. Have a good day.